do not listen to this recording while driving or operating machinery. Only listen when you can safely relax and bring your full awareness to comfort. Hi there. Welcome to Healing Sleep Stories, where the sound of my voice gently guides you to rest. Right now, maybe you're lying in bed. Your body's tired, but your thoughts still spinning. That endless loop. What you said, what they said, what might go wrong tomorrow. But tonight, you're done with that. We're retraining your mind to let go, to remember that peace doesn't come from solving every thought, but from pausing, breathing, and softening. Your brain's like a loyal puppy, sweet, but always bringing back the same old emotional sticks. It's okay to tell it, not tonight. Before we begin, feel free to like or subscribe if this brings you calm, and let me know where you're listening from. Your city and local time help me feel closer to you. Now, dim the lights, settle in, and let's drift together into stillness. You begin on a breath simple. Inhale through the nose, out through the mouth. Again, this time slower. The kind of breath that tells your body, hey, I think we're safe now. Your shoulders don't quite believe it yet, but that's okay, they will. You lie still, cocooned in whatever blanket or silence you've made your home tonight. Outside your window, the world keeps humming along, traffic like low thunder, or maybe just the hush of leaves brushing against each other in the dark. Inside your chest, a different hum starts, a quieter one, and then the thoughts arrive. They don't knock. They don't wait for your permission. They just come tumbling in like a crowd of overeager interns at a chaotic startup. One thought about that weird look your coworker gave you. Another about the email you forgot to reply to. Then the bonus intrusive thought, what if I'm fundamentally broken? Oof, that one always shows up early. Your mind, it seems, is spinning in spirals, tight, looping spirals, else that feel like they might never let go. This is the pattern of overthinking. Not dramatic, not cinematic, just relentless. And here's where history surprises us. Humans have always done this. In ancient Greece, Stoic philosophers wrote about circles of worry, layers of thought that pull a person away from what they can control. One of them, Epictetus, said it's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about them. And well, you're judging things pretty hard right now, aren't you? You turn slightly, feeling the mattress beneath your weight. It's holding you, supporting you. That's not metaphor, that's gravity. The physical universe saying, I've got you. And now you imagine your thoughts as actual objects, not fog, not clouds. Let's try birds. Dozens of them flapping in the same cage, noisy, uncoordinated, all vying for your attention. You try to focus on one, it darts away. Another lands loudly. They chirp and flutter, make you want to throw your pillow. But here's the trick: you don't have to catch. You don't even have to silence them. You just open the cage. Leave the door wide open. Let them fly out one by one. Some go easily, others hesitate. The loudest ones, they'll linger. That's fine. They don't get to live here rent-free anymore. There's a little-known historical tidbit about medieval monks who used to catalog their thoughts during prayer. Not to judge them, just to name them. Distraction about hunger, memory of childhood argument, fear of death. Their goal wasn't purity, it was distance, detachment, knowing that your thinking is different from being the thought. You shift again. Your body is beginning to understand what you're doing. It's softening in places that normally hold tension: jaw, neck, back. The nervous system is whispering, "We're safe, we're slowing down, permission granted." And yet, there's always that sneaky part of your mind that says, "What if this doesn't work?" That part's not evil, it's just scared. Overthinking is often a trauma response. Your brain scanning for threats because it once found safety in preparedness. But this isn't a battlefield. This is your bed. The war is over. Historians still argue whether insomnia in ancient societies was as rampant as it is today. Some believe pre-electric civilizations naturally woke and slept in segmented rhythms, drifting in and out of dream states with the moon. You've got a phone by your pillow and 4 browser tabs open in your brain, so maybe you need a little help unwinding. That's why we're here. So, how about we count backward from 10? Not in a hurry. With each count, you imagine a step downward, not a staircase, not a dark descent. More like stepping into deeper water, each level cooler and calmer than the last. 10, your feet are still. 9, your breathing finds its own rhythm. 8, your eyes, though closed, begin to flutter in that dreamlike way. 7, a memory surfaces, but you let it float past. 6, your arms feel heavy, wonderfully useless. 5, your mind stops chasing and starts watching. 4, a lightness replaces the old chatter. 3, your belly rises and falls like ocean waves. 2, your entire body feels held by something larger. 1, you are aware you are here, you are not your thoughts. And then, silence. Not the absence of sound, but the absence of urgency. You've stepped off the mental treadmill. You're not resisting the thoughts anymore. You're watching them. You are no longer inside the spiral. You're the one holding the string. You smile, maybe just slightly, because for the first time in a long while, it feels like your brain isn't the boss of you. The spiral may have loosened its grip, but your mind still flickers like candlelight, occasionally darting towards something it forgot to worry about. That's fine. Minds do that. Like a kid at bedtime who keeps asking for water, or a fifth story or a reason not to sleep. You gently nod at the thought, acknowledge it, and let it drift. You're lying here, still and warm, but your inner world begins to shift. The textures of your thoughts soften. The volume of your worries dips beneath the ambient sound of your breathing. There is no need to wrestle your mind. You're not here to conquer it. You're here to unhook it. Unhooking the mind doesn't mean turning it off. You'd need a different kind of hypnosis for that, probably involving goats and a full moon. No, it means learning to observe without reacting. You begin with the breath again, not because it's trendy, but because it's always available. It anchors you to this moment, not the next one, not the last one, this one. Inhale, hold, exhale, pause. And again. Now imagine this. Your thoughts are floating on a lazy river. Each one arrives in a small wooden boat, some sleek, some clumsy, some decorated with glittering lights, some waterlogged and half sinking. You watch them pass. You don't grab them. You don't push them. You simply nod. Oh, that's a thought. Then it moves along. That intrusive one about that weird text message you sent 6 hours ago. Let it drift. The panic about your to-do list, it floats past too. That strange voice telling you you're not good enough. Yep, you guessed it. It's just another boat. And, spoiler alert, that boat doesn't even float that well. This act, watching without grasping, is the core of detachment. And it's something spiritual traditions across time have taught. In Buddhism, it's vipassana, the practice of seeing things as they really are, without clinging or aversion. In ancient Christian monasticism, it was hesychasm, a silent watchfulness, waiting patiently in stillness. Both practices understood something mater, and minds forget. You are not your thoughts. Here's the quirky bit. Recent neuroscience backs this up. There's an actual mode in your brain called the default mode network. It lights up when your mind wanders, loops, replays. But meditation or hypnosis, like you're doing now, quietly deactivates that system, and now your body joins the party. You feel the crown of your head, the tension behind your eyes, the jaw that finally unlocks like a long-forgotten door. You're letting go without trying. You're unhooking without force. It's a kind of surrender that isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Let's do a little scan. Nothing intense, just light attention like a warm breeze. Your forehead, soft, smooth, like you forgot how to worry. Your shoulders, lower, looser. Your chest, not bracing anymore. Your belly rising and falling without a single crunch involved. Your hands slightly curled like they've finally set something down. Your legs heavy in the best way. Your feet just there, not plotting an escape route. There's a rhythm to this quiet. You didn't create it, you're just tapping in, and still thoughts arrive. That's okay, because now they aren't threats, they're just things, like leaves falling, like old voicemail messages. You don't need to call them back. Here's something strange. In the 19th century, doctors actually prescribed thinking too much as a medical diagnosis. They called it neurasthenia, a vague condition of mental exhaustion. Historians still argue whether this was a real illness or just a fancy name for modern anxiety, but the symptoms, oh, you'd recognize them. Racing mind, constant worry, that lingering feeling you've forgotten something important. Sound familiar? You've been living with your thoughts in high definition. Every detail, every doubt, zoomed in and sharpened. Tonight, we soften the focus. We switch from HD to, let's say, VHS. Slightly fuzzier, a little nostalgic, definitely less stressful. You picture a whiteboard. Eve, every thought you've ever had is scribbled across it. Some are helpful, some less so. You take a slow breath, and with an invisible hand, you begin erasing, one corner at a time. No rush, just a gentle wipe of the cloth. Gone is the what if about tomorrow's meeting. Gone is the echo of last week's argument. Gone is that perfectionist whisper, you didn't do enough. You step back. The board is clearing, not blank, just spacious. You didn't destroy your thoughts. You just made room. You sigh, a good one, the kind of sigh that sounds like an exhale, but feels like a choice to stop clinging. Now we play with detachment. Imagine your mind is a radio station. It plays the anxiety hits all day, every day, but there's a dial. You turn it, just slightly. The volume drops. The DJ gets quieter. You can still hear the station, but you're not tuning in anymore. Somewhere in your body, a smile forms. Not a big one, just enough to say, I know what I'm doing now. You may not silence your thoughts forever, but tonight, you're no longer afraid of them. You've become the listener, not the performer, the watcher, not the victim. And as you sink deeper, the thoughts may still arrive, but you don't rise with them. They float. You stay grounded. They flicker. You glow. They spin. You rest. Your thoughts are quieter now. Not gone, just softened. As if someone finally turned down the fluorescent lights in your brain and replaced them with candles. You're not in a void. You're in a sanctuary. A space where your body begins to speak and for once, your mind listens. You don't usually think of your body as wise. It's often an afterthought, something you drag around behind your ambition. Feed only when it complains loudly, and stretch once every 6 Mondays. But tonight, that changes. Tonight, your body remembers something ancient: how to feel safe. You begin by feeling the weight of your body as it melts further into whatever holds you. That mattress, it's become your boat, your body, the traveler, and your breath, the tide. Steady, gentle, predictable. There's a curious truth about overthinking. It's not just mental, it's deeply physical. Muscles tighten, breath shortens, the gut clenches, the nervous system lights up like a fire alarm in an empty build. Ding! So tonight, instead of fighting fire with fire, you cool it with softness. Let's go inward, gently. Notice your chest, the rise, the fall, the space between. Notice your hands. Maybe they're tingling now, or heavy, or floating. Any of those are fine. They're talking to you. They're saying, "Hey, we're okay now." Notice your spine, that long, loyal ladder that holds you up every single day, even when you forget to thank it. Tonight, it's not trying to keep you upright. It's sinking, settling. Let that softness travel, like light slowly filling a dark hallway, or like warm honey poured into a glass jar. Here's a strange historical tidbit. Ancient Roman baths weren't just for cleanliness, they were for mental reset. People went not only to scrub down, but to soak out their thoughts. They'd lie in warm water, whispering to each other, staring at the sky through steam, and occasionally mutter philosophical reflections between sips of wine. You're doing something similar right now. No toga need. You let your attention scan the entire body, but not like a boss checking in on a lazy employee. No judgment, just presence. Your jaw unclenches. Your tongue rests gently on the roof of your mouth. Your throat opens as if you've been holding back a story, and it finally feels safe to begin. Your shoulders fall into their sockets like puzzle pieces returning home. Your belly softens, no longer bracing for an invisible punch. You may feel a warmth, a gentle pulsing, even a flutter of emotion. That's the nervous system recalibrating, shifting from fight or flight to rest and digest. You may even feel sadness, not because anything's wrong, but because it's the first time in a long time you've stopped running. Historians still debate how ancient yogic practices developed, whether they were purely spiritual or, as some now argue, sophisticated neurobiological tools. Either way, those postures, those breaths, those quiet moments, they were designed to do exactly this. Slow the mind by speaking to the body. You shift again, just slightly, not out of discomfort, but out of deeper comfort. Your body adjusting to its own sense of here we are. And now, let's build a little inner imagery. Nothing dramatic, just memory. Think of a moment, real or imagined, where your body felt truly relaxed. Maybe it was a quiet afternoon on vacation. Maybe it was that first hour after a warm bath. Maybe it was a childhood memory, lying in grass and watching clouds. Now, place that memory somewhere inside your chest. Let it glow. Let it spread outward slowly through your ribs, down your arms, across your back, into your legs. This is what it means to anchor, to let the body remember the feeling of safety so that the mind doesn't have to work so hard pretending to be in control. You're breathing differently now, not because I told you to, but because your nervous system remembered how. And here's something beautiful. The body doesn't hold grudges. You might have punished it with neglect, with caffeine, with stress, with late nights and tight schedules. But the moment you show up, really show up, it welcomes you back, like an old friend, always waiting, always ready. You are now moving into a state where awareness lives inside the body. The mind is still present, but it's not running the show. Think of it like a helpful assistant, no longer the frantic CEO. Let's try a little grounding now. Literal grounding. Imagine roots growing from your spine, down through the mattress, into the floor. They twist and tunnel gently, like vines seeking soil. They find it, rich, cool, ancient. They drink in stability. You are tethered now, not trapped, rooted. A fringe idea, but a beautiful one. Some indigenous cultures believed that nighttime dreaming was a way for the body to return to the earth's memory. That in sleep, we reconnected with the world's original rhythm. You're tapping into that now. Let's move even slower. Picture a warm, golden mist. It starts at the top of your head and trickles down. It doesn't rush. It moves with purpose over your scalp, across your eyes, cooling, calming, around your cheeks and into your jaw, down your neck like sunlight through a curtain, over your chest, your ribs, your belly, into your hips, thighs, knees, ankles, to your feet. Now you are fully misted, encased in comfort, breathing as if the air itself loves you. If a thought enters your mind, you nod at it. You say, I see you. And then you turn back to the body, back to the breath, back to this sacred, slow sanctuary. Or not escaping your mind, you're rebalancing the power, and maybe, just maybe, for the first time in a while, your mind trusts your body. You both exhale together. You are no longer drifting, you're floating now. Not the flailing kind of floating that happens when someone throws you in the deep end and yells, just relax. No, This is different. This is the kind of floating where you don't have to try. You don't even have to think about staying afloat, because the water beneath you knows how to hold you. It always did. You're suspended in stillness, buoyant in your own awareness. The chatter has softened to whispers. Some of it's gone completely. It's like tuning into an old AM radio station and realizing the static has become a song, a slow one. And this song, it's coming from your subconscious. You start to feel it, not with your fingers, not with your brain, but with some deeper part of you that's been waiting for permission to speak. This is where we go deeper. You close your eyes a little heavier now, even though they were already closed. A layer deeper, like stepping from twilight into dusk, from shallow breath into deep ocean lungs. You're not asleep, not quite awake either. You're in that in-between place, the one mystics, monks, and night shift poets have always loved. The liminal state, where the subconscious hums louder than the ego, where metaphors are clearer than facts. This is the entrance to your deeper self. Let's walk through together. You imagine a hallway, not spooky, not grand, just yours. Familiar in a way that makes your skin feel like it's heard this dream before. Along the walls, there are doors. Each one leads to a room within you, a memory, a belief, a little locked drawer of forgotten feelings. We don't need to open any right now. Just notice they're there. You're the one holding the keys now. That's new. As you walk, the ground beneath you feels soft. Maybe it's sand or moss or worn carpet. You hear only your breath and the gentle rustle of thought leaves falling behind you. You are not following them anymore. Somewhere deep in the hallway, you feel a pull, not like a trap, but like an invitation. Your curiosity wakes up. Not anxious curiosity, gentle curiosity, the kind you had as a child standing at the edge of a tide pool. Here's where things get strange. You start to see symbols, maybe a feather floating in slow motion, maybe a clock, its hands spinning counterclockwise. Maybe your childhood bedroom, just the way it looked one summer afternoon you forgot you remembered. These aren't random. They're the language of your subconscious. You don't have to understand them. You just have to witness them. This is your inner world, and like any good museum, it's filled with strange art you didn't know you made. One symbol lingers. It draws your attention. You stand in front of it. Maybe it's an animal. Maybe it's a color. Maybe it's a version of yourself. older or younger or impossibly radiant. You watch, you feel, you do not analyze. That part of you, the part that always wants to make sense of everything, is finally quiet. It knows this space isn't for logic, it's for listening. Ancient cultures saw visions like these during rituals and called them dream walks. In Siberian shamanism, practitioners believed you could travel into your own spirit to retrieve lost parts of your soul. In Jungian psychology, this is the realm of archetypes, the grand characters of the psyche. You don't need a degree to be here. You're already a native speaker. You've always had the map. Let's go deeper still. You feel the air grow denser, like being underwater but without pressure. Just embrace, just velvet. And in this place, an old fear drifts up. Not loud, not aggressive. Just there, curious, like a child asking, "Are you still afraid of me?" You pause, you breathe, you don't fight it, you acknowledge it, and then you let it pass. This, right here, is the power of subconscious hypnosis. Not erasing your pain, but witnessing it so gently it dissolves on its own. Historians still argue whether ancient Egyptian dream temples were places of sleep therapy or divine messages. Either way, people went to lie down, close their eyes, and meet themselves. That's what you're doing now. And you notice something else. You're floating, yes, but you're also being carried. By what? Maybe memory. Maybe imagination. Maybe some deeper intelligence that only emerges in silence. It's guiding you, and you let it. You may pass by images, a door that says, regret, a window titled, what if, a staircase leading to a bright space called acceptance. You don't need to climb, just float, just notice. You might even see old versions of yourself here, the anxious one, the overachiever, the sad kid, the exhausted adult. They don't need fixing, they just want your presence. So you give it, you breathe into them, you send them the softness you've found tonight, and slowly they fade, not vanishing, just reintegrating. You're becoming whole. Now imagine this. A light begins to grow in the center of your chest. Warm, slow, like an ember waking up. This light doesn't burn, it glows. It pulses with calm. It begs, begin to spread. It fills your rib cage, your shoulders, your arms. It moves into your throat, clearing the fog, into your face, softening every tension you've carried there. Down into your belly, where so many feelings have lived unspoken, through your legs, into your feet, until you are full of light. You don't have to do anything with this light, just be it. In this space, your subconscious isn't a threat, it's an ally. You are not a prisoner of your thoughts. You are the keeper of your inner world. And the deeper you go, the freer you become. You are here now, not floating, not falling, just being. In the stillness, in the quiet, in the space between thoughts, between breath, between what was and what might be. And in this space, something extraordinary is happening. You're becoming the observer. It's subtle at first. You don't sit up suddenly and shout, "Eureka!" No. You notice it the way you notice stars. First one, then two. Then you realize the whole sky is lit with them. You watch your thoughts arise, but they don't carry you. You notice emotions flicker, but they don't hijack your nervous system. You feel a tug of old mental habits, tightness, clenching, spiraling, but they lose their grip before they begin, because you're not inside them anymore. You're watching. You, my friend, have become the sky, not the weather. Take a deep breath and notice this moment. You're in the body, yes, but your awareness, it's perched just above it, like a quiet witness, like the narrator of your own story who finally stopped interrupting. And just let the plot unfold. This right here is detachment, not numbness, not denial, but gentle, grounded witnessing, without judgment, without resistance, without needing to fix anything. And the irony? This is the state where healing actually happens, not when you're scrambling for answers, not when you're Googling symptoms, not when you're hyper-analyzing your inner life with a flashlight and a clipboard, but here, now, in this pause, where your nervous system, your subconscious, and your breath are finally on the same team. Let's go deeper into this state, not downward, but inward. You imagine yourself standing on the shore of a vast mirror-like lake. The surface is glass, perfectly still, not a ripple. Above you, a dark indigo sky hangs heavy with stars. Each star, a thought, a memory, a belief, some close, some ancient. You don't need to name them, just notice. They flicker, but they don't scream. You take one step onto the lake, and it holds you. Of course it does. You are made of this stillness now. You walk slowly, each footstep echoing outward like ripples of consciousness. Behind you, the shore disappears. In front of you, only moonlight and reflection. You pause, then you sit right in the center, and you watch the stars, your thoughts, your fears, your endless wondering from this quiet place inside yourself. Now, let the metaphors fall away. You are simply resting in awareness. Right now, your mind might still throw a few curveballs. What if this calm doesn't last? What if I'm just faking peace? What if I open my eyes and the anxiety is still waiting? These are old voices. They don't know the new you, because the new you is not here to argue with thoughts. You're here to observe them like traffic, Yes, they come. Yes, they go. But you don't get in the car anymore. You stay on the sidewalk, maybe sipping tea. There's a little known fact. In early Zen Buddhism, the word for enlightenment wasn't about light. It was about seeing clearly, just seeing, without needing to label, without needing to solve. To then you undoing anong. This isn't some guru state. This is now about today, unfold. This is now about today. This is now about today. This is now about today. This is know 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 About Today. The historians still argue whether the Stoics practiced a form of self-hypnosis. After all, they taught visualization, detachment from emotion, and repetitive mental affirmations. Sounds familiar? You are the sky watching it all pass. One last breath. And as you inhale, you pull in the clarity of the stars. As you exhale, you release every single thing that doesn't belong to you anymore. You've done more than relax tonight. You've reoriented your entire inner compass. You've gone from tangled to clear, from reactive to reflective, from spiraling to still. So as your body softens into deep sleep, or as you return gently to the waking world, you carry something priceless with you. The ability to pause, to observe, and to choose, not from panic, not from compulsion, but from clarity. And that's power. Now there's nowhere to go, nothing to fix, nothing left to do. Only this moment, unfolding gently around you. Let your breath grow even slower now, like waves smoothing the shoreline after a passing storm, in and out, as if the air itself were whispering you to sleep. There are no instructions here, no more imagery, only the quiet rhythm of your existence, soft and easy. Your body continues to settle, bones heavier, breath softer, heartbeat slower. Your thoughts, if they return, arrive like distant echoes. You hear them, but you no longer answer the door, because you are resting, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. This is what it feels like to be held by your own awareness, to let the day dissolve, to let the mind unclench, to let the soul soften. Tonight, you've remembered that you are not your fears, not your to-do lists, not even your thoughts. You are the one watching, and that watcher is finally at peace. Let sleep come if it wants. Let stillness deepen. Let yourself fall without falling, sink without effort. There is no rush. There is no wrong way to rest. Just this breath, and this one, and this one. You are safe here. You are whole here, and you are never alone. Good night, beautiful mind.